Have you ever wondered, what would be the economic fallout of a third world war? Ponder upon this question as we delve into the economic shadows of global conflict. The previous world wars, as history recalls, left scars not only on the face of the earth, but also on the world economy. World War I and II were periods of extreme financial distress, with nations spending vast amounts of their wealth on warfare, reducing entire cities to rubble, and disrupting the intricate web of global trade. The loss of infrastructure was immense, crippling economies for years, even decades after the dust had settled. But that's not all. The human cost, the loss of life and labor, further compounded the economic ruin. The repercussions echoed across generations, reshaping the economic landscape of the world. So imagine the scale of economic devastation a third world war could bring. Let's explore this chilling prospect further. Now, let's dive deeper into the potential economic consequences of a third world war. Firstly, we must consider the effects on global trade. In times of global conflict, trade routes could be blocked, and trade agreements may crumble. This potential scenario could lead to a dramatic decrease in the exchange of goods and services between nations. Countries heavily reliant on imports would face severe shortages, leading to skyrocketing prices and a decline in living standards. Moving on to national economies, these would likely be hit hard. Governments would have to redirect their resources towards the war effort, leaving less for other sectors like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. This redirection of resources is often referred to as the guns versus butter dilemma. In the long run, this could lead to a decline in human capital, slow down technological progress, and stifle economic growth. Next, let's talk about the cost of wartime spending. Running a war is a costly endeavor, requiring enormous financial resources. These funds are often raised through increased taxes or by borrowing. The former could lead to reduced consumer spending, while the latter could result in increased national debt. In both cases, the economy could be plunged into a recession or even a depression. Lastly, there's the impact on individual livelihoods. With the economy in tatters and jobs scarce, many individuals may find themselves unemployed. The resulting poverty could lead to a rise in crime rates and social unrest, further destabilizing the economy. In addition to all these, there's also the potential for economic systems to collapse completely. This could lead to hyperinflation, where the value of money decreases rapidly and prices soar. A famous example of this is the German Weimar Republic after the First World War, where a loaf of bread cost billions of marks. In short, a third world war could lead to an economic catastrophe like no other. A third world war would have a profound impact on global trade and national economies. Imagine a world where the intricate web of global trade is abruptly disrupted. Goods that we take for granted, like coffee beans from Brazil or electronics from China, become scarce, leading to shortages and price hikes. Regions that rely heavily on imports could face severe shortages of essential goods. But it's not just about goods. The financial arteries that keep the world economy alive would also be under threat. War spending would skyrocket, straining national economies to the brink of collapse. Governments would divert funds from vital sectors like health and education to support the war effort, leading to societal decay. What's more, the war would likely damage infrastructure, further hindering economic activities. Trade routes could be blocked, factories destroyed, and cities left in ruins. The economic shockwaves would reverberate across the globe, with recovery taking decades, if not longer. The economic impact on global trade and national economies would be severe and long-lasting. But the economic consequences of a third world war aren't just about money and trade. Beyond the staggering numbers and complex trade dynamics, there's an often overlooked element: the human cost. Imagine a world where jobs become as scarce as peace. Industries would crumble, leaving millions unemployed. The shockwaves of job loss would ripple out, leading to a surge in homelessness. Streets worldwide would be filled with people who once had homes, jobs, and a sense of security. And let's not forget about poverty. In a post-war world, poverty rates would skyrocket. The divide between the haves and the have-nots would grow, turning the world into a stark landscape of inequality. Everyday people like you and me would bear the brunt of these economic consequences. Our lives, our dreams, our futures would all be deeply affected. So, the economic fallout of a third world war would be far-reaching and deeply personal.